Does this great white shark eat me?
I didn't say that it did.
Oh.
I just said it swam up next to you.
And now, coming to you from the K2 studios in San Diego, California, it's the world-famous Chris and Christine Show.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? Aloha! I am Chris.
And I'm Christine, and welcome to the 10th episode of the Chris and Christine Show. Do-do-do-do, hula hula hoo.
Hula hula, indeed. This is the big 10th episode of the Chris and Christine Show. Hey, Christine, did you think that we will be having actually 10 of these? And here we are today.
No, I didn't. I didn't know what to expect when we got started, but I'm so excited. We're in month 3 of this beautiful thing called the Chris and Christine Show.
That's right. Fantastic.
And world famous.
That's right. We are world famous across the world. Anywhere in the world, you can listen to our show via this interweb thing that's a big popular thing these days.
Did you just say interweb?
That's correct.
I love it.
There you go. Fantastic. Now,
we have a great episode up for you this week. And we're just going to recap a little bit about what we talked about last week because a lot has happened since last week. But if you'll remember, last week we talked about colds and caffeine because Mr. Chris over there.
Yeah, that's me.
Was sick.
That's right. That's right. I had the cold and...
Actually, it was the flu.
Okay, beg to differ. Maybe the flu, but I think it's just a cold that
Maybe
just lingered.
It was the clue. Maybe
the what?
The clue.
The clue?
Cold,
like,
cold
get a,
flu.
like get a clue?
Get a clue.
Okay, well, get a clue. I got a flu. There you go. Trademark, patent.
So it is debatable. We have differing opinions about whether it was cold or the flu.
Right. Well, I did have the clue and, the clue. I mean, the flu. And that caffeine and coffee was actually a big cure, it said. We looked that up.
Well, not necessarily for a cold, but it said for like liver disease and for helping with heart disease and, you know, helping to flush your system out. Yeah, but in the spirit of coffee, we're sitting here with our mugs full.
That's right. Now, if I say aloha a little too much tonight, it's because we just flew in last night.
And we're still on island time.
From Hawaii.
Aloha,
yes.
mahalo.
Mahalo and aloha.
Mele kalikimaka.
I'm wearing my lei right now. I got from Hawaii. What do you call this thing? It's
a rock lei.
Rock. Well, it's not rocks. It's like
it's a rock.
Beads or something.
Yeah, but they're called rock leis.
Oh, well, I got a rock lei, and I got my aloha shirt on, and I'm barefoot, and I am doing this podcast island style.
Yes, he is. And I've got my hair in my little side braid that I was rocking while we were on the island. And if you missed out on all of our highlights, you can find us on Instagram, where we've posted a fun little highlight reel on our stories, as well as on our regular K2 Show San Diego Instagram feed.
That's correct. And we got more to come. We had to upload. I uploaded all the pictures today. Oh, my goodness. It was like, almost 2,000 pictures?
Yeah,
videos?
Of those, I only took 200.
I know. Well, I had to go 2 GoPros going, plus I had my iPhone going. So
2 GoPros plus an iPhone, people. I survived. I
Yeah.
survived Chris's Hawaii vacation 2019.
Yes.
I survived.
Yes, she has a t-shirt made and everything. Gotta get her coffee mug. It'd be great.
Yep,
Fantastic.
absolutely.
So for my birthday, we went out and did celebrate my birthday prior to us leaving.
Yeah, we went out to a steak dinner, and I think we recapped that last week, but we're going to tell you again. One of Chris's favorite gifts that he got is something that he's actually using right now. I wish you could all see it, but we'll have to post a picture for you on Instagram. And what is it, Chris?
It is the Chris and Christine Show coffee mug, and it has a picture of our logo on here, and on the back it says, until next time, keep moving forward. That's right. Fantastic. We've got 2 of them, 1 for each of us. It's great.
Yeah, and so we're really excited about this week's topics because, like I said, it's been a lot's happened since our last week. We went on vacation, and we're going to get into the details all about that right after this. The Chris and Christine Show is now on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. Check out our latest pictures, videos, show teasers, and life updates on Instagram at the K2 Show San Diego. And now it's time for Hot Topics. Do.
Hot topics already? Here we go.
Well, this hot topic wasn't really trending in the news, but it was trending in our lives. And that is the recap of the Chris and Christine Hawaii Extravaganza 2019.
That's right. Aloha to everybody. We just got back. We flew into town last night. So we just got here. We're on island time, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Aloha to everybody.
They're 3 hours behind us here.
That's correct.
So it's a lot earlier in the day there.
But the one good thing about living in San Diego and flying to Hawaii is that the flight is only 5 hours?
Yeah, like 5.5.
Now, you met people in Hawaii that traveled to Hawaii from all over the world, all over the country, including
all over the world, yeah.
Yeah, back east.
Yeah, a lot of people from Australia.
Oh, yeah. What's up? Good day, mate.
Not with that again. Oh, my goodness. But there was a bunch of people from Australia and from Japan.
Oh, Japan. Yeah, it's like they say it's pretty close to Japan. Like probably the halfway point from Japan to America is like Hawaii. So they vacation there. Oh, my goodness.
There's so many Japanese tourists. And we were in Oahu.
Right. Honolulu, Waikiki Beach. Now, we flew in when on day one, we arrived. We fly in, we land. We took an early flight. So when we got there, we still had a lot of daylight left. We landed 1 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah, 1:30, right around there.
1 p.m. we land. And then we land in, and then we get the luggage and all that stuff, and we load up. We take the bus over to the rental car company,
yes,
where Christine had reserved a Jeep.
You're welcome.
Thank you. 4-wheel drive Jeep. And we got the little thing, and we took the roof. First thing we did, we took the roof off the top.
Yes, we did.
And we had made it into a convertible and throw all our junk in the back. And we hightailed out of that place. And I didn't know where
we were going.
Oh, I know.
And it's a Jeep, so it's rugged. It doesn't have the amenities of Chantilly, my car. If you've heard me
it was
talk
pretty
about
basic.
her.
Even though it's 4-wheel drive and all that, but it was pretty rugged. It had crank windows. Where do you find a car with crank roll-up windows? I didn't know they existed.
And manual locks.
And manual locks. You
you couldn't automatically lock anything.
Right. It was all the old-fashioned. Put a key in and all that stuff. Crazy.
You had to lock the back door of the swing gate, whatever it's called, with the key.
Right. Everything was old school, which is fine or whatever. But
yeah,
it was an automatic. It wasn't a stick. I don't think you can rent sticks. But
what's so funny is it was 2 times or more the price of a regular car.
It was?
Yes. It was so much more
expensive.
It's
so small too. It was a small.
But you
one.
wanted it. Chris said to me, "Babe, when we go to Hawaii, we've totally got to rent a Jeep. Do you think it's possible?" I was already done.
Yes, Christine is the best.
I am a pretty decent travel planner. I do have to pat myself on the back.
She's amazing.
Aw, thanks.
Yeah. Well, we rented the Jeep. We get in the Jeep, and Christine is slash photographer slash navigation. So she's telling me how to get to the hotel. So we're going through
oh my
downtown.
Gosh, you guys. I need to pause him. Photographer, he's babe, can you film this with a GoPro? All the meantime, I'm trying to juggle the phone because the phone didn't have a stand in the car, nor did it have a cord or anything. And then I had our flower lay because we had the lady meet us at the gate with the flower lays because Chris wanted a flower lay.
We got off the plane and they had our name. As soon as we got off the plane, they hold our names up with this little, the old do in the movies with their name with a placard, our names on there. And the lady had the flower lace, gave us the lace around our necks, and then she took us to where we could pick up our bags, and she was very, very friendly.
Very friendly. And so then we're in the car. I'm trying to keep my hair from blowing into my eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
Keeping my flower lay from flying away, holding the iPhone in one hand, trying to videotape this goober over here with the GoPro. And we're just having the time of our lives.
Yeah, she's sticking them out the roof. She's
breath.
flying it out the window. She's videoing out the roof, ceiling, the buildings. We had all kinds of traffic. trying to figure out where to go. And the freeways there, they have freeways like they have here, but the freeways are like super narrow, like smaller, like top speed, like 45 miles an hour on a freeway.
Yeah, it was really bizarre. And so we were only like 6.5 miles away from the airport. And when we finally got there, we checked in and we get to the check-in area and the line was huge.
Oh my
and
goodness.
If you've heard me mention anything about Chris, he hates lines.
Oh, we get there and I'm like first we try to figure out where to park at.
Right.
We find the parking garage. Once you find in, and we're so lost, the resort's so big. We stayed in the Hilton,
Waikiki Village.
Waikiki Village Hilton. It's a big, massive resort with multiple buildings, multiple towers, a mall, storefronts.
Yeah. So fast forward, we find the check-in area, and Chris looks at the check-in line. He's like, "Oh my goodness!" Although there may have been. He's still overcoming his cold. Pardon us, people. He may have used some different words, but he was like, "Oh my goodness." We're just going to go with that. And I was like, "That's okay, babe. I'm Hilton Honors." And
Look
he's
at
like,
that.
"What?"
Woo-hoo.
And I was like, "I'm Hilton Honors." And he's like, "What's
We still
Hilton
had to wait,
Honors?"
though. We still had to wait in line.
Yeah, but there was only 2 people in front of us.
Yeah,
And it
it
did
took
still take
forever.
like 15 minutes, but we got ahead of like 15 people. And so we got our room and it was ready early. So we got to go up into our room. And Chris is so funny when he travels. I've never met anybody that travels like this. The minute we get in the hotel room, everything gets unpacked and put into the drawers,
Right.
hung in the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
Put away.
I've never been with somebody like that.
Well, you do that because you want to come in, get squared away, get everything put away, so that when it's go time, fun time, you're not busy, unpacking or looking for crap. Everything's put away, ready to go. You're moved in, and you get to like put your feet up and relax. I went strictly to the patio. There's a patio we had a view, 20th floor. We had a view of the ocean.
It was great.
It was fantastic.
I just have to go back to the unpacking thing for a minute, though, because
What?
I just have to tell you, honestly, never before in my life, before I met you, did I actually unpack at a hotel.
What?
I lived out of my suitcase.
That's weird. I'd lose stuff. I couldn't find nothing. I have to have everything in drawers. Like I think I feel more secure and more like homey, I guess. Maybe I feel like I'm more like I'm lived in.
Yeah, he likes to make it into a home. Like right away, he's like, let's mix up some cocktails and go out for drinks on the lanai.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right on the patio, watching the ocean, having coffee. That's great. You
Yeah,
know?
so he went out there and started his first of 45 photo sessions.
Yes, of the room, of the
Of
view
Chris,
of the
of
room,
himself.
walking down the hallway to the room.
Selfies.
Selfie mode. Camera was on selfie mode most
Yeah,
of
it
the time.
was. It was
But,
fun. But after we did the photos out on the patio, then Chris was like,
It was still
okay.
early. Yeah, it was still early enough. Still daylight and still early enough because when you fly that direction, time works for you.
Right.
So when you land, it's you still have plenty of day left.
Yeah, you've gained time.
Right.
So he's like, okay, babe, let's go do stuff.
Well, yeah. First, we got here day one. I want to do something.
Yeah.
So first thing we did, we hit the pool, right? Or or did we eat first?
We went to the pool.
Straight to the pool.
Oh no, we went to eat. You're right.
We went to eat and then went to the pool, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. The pool was right next. The restaurant we went to was right next to one of the pools we were at, so it was like right there. Mm-hmm. And it had a waterfall like thing set up by like the rocks,
Like
a
a little
path.
grotto. Yeah.
Right, and then like it didn't go into the pool, but it kind of went in front of the pool and went like underneath or something, and underneath the patio or whatever.
And
but it
it's
was right
just
there.
across the walkway from the sand where the beach was. It
Right.
was like you could be in the pool looking out at the ocean.
Right,
was
right
beautiful.
there. And the sand and the beach, the whole resort sits on its own sand beach, I guess. It's all part of the same deal. It's all the sidewalk right there. Everything is right there at your fingertips.
Yeah.
It's great.
So after we went swimming, I don't think we went snorkeling that day because
No.
we didn't have snorkeling equipment.
No.
But we definitely did have dinner right by the beach. It was really nice. It was fun to just hang out and unwind.
And we saw our very first sunset
Yeah, we did.
right there on the water. It went right over right there, right where we were at. And there's so many people taking pictures and video. It's like the thing to do. All like professionals with like real cameras, not like little GoPro things, but they got like the real, like the big zooms and all that, and tripods.
But it was so beautiful. It's like our first day on vacation. We got in there early enough. We got to sit on the rocks as the waves crashed at our feet as we watched the sunset. It was wonderful.
That was day one.
Yeah, that was a half a day. So there was so much more that happened.
And then day 2 was our first official full day.
And that
in
was
Hawaii.
Chris's birthday.
And that was my birthday. Aloha birthday boy. That's me.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, I put a lot of thought into this day because birthdays in my life are something that I really like to celebrate people. I feel like you love your people well that are in your life. And my way that I like to show my affection is by like planning special events or special activities with a person that I really care about. And that is Chris. And so
Thank you
Chris,
so much. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. Wow.
oh, come on. Fake crier.
No.
Why don't you tell everybody what we did for your birthday?
So we woke up first, obviously.
Obviously.
But I woke up super early. The whole entire trip, I was on San Diego time. So, which means 6 a.m. is really like what?
3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Hawaii time.
Yeah, but I was waking
people,
about.
He was waking up at 4:30 every morning, ready to go.
Right. I was like, I'm ready to go now. Doo-doo. But
Seriously, it was like a little kid. You know, like when the babies wake up and they're like, and I'm up for the day.
And
he's like, I'm just going to stay on San Diego time.
I pretty much what did,
Yep.
which means on the opposite side, on the evening side, about 9 o'clock, I was like, I'm ready for bed.
Actually, he would stay up later. He would say,
Yeah.
I'm just going to stretch it both ways because I just want to maximize it. So he'd stay up until midnight, be up at 4:30, and would wake me up at both times too to be like, babe, let's go do stuff.
Right. Got to maximize it.
Yep. All right, birthday. You got up early.
So we got down to the Jeep, drove to the, like only a block away to this other resort where Christine had booked us both a snorkeling adventure on this catamaran sailboat.
It was so cool.
It took us out into the ocean or water or whatever, like a bay, I guess. And they parked us off, gave us snorkeling gear. And I had a GoPro, and Christine had a GoPro going, both GoPros going. Mm-hmm. And the main focus of this event was to see up close and personal sea turtles.
Sea turtles!
Christine's favorite.
My favorite thing in the world, other than Chris.
Oh, thank you.
And Ezekiel.
Oh, okay. He
And
said thank
Jacob
you,
and
too.
Mason.
Of course.
Are turtles.
Oh, she loves turtles.
I love
she
them
loves
so
turtles on
much.
another level.
Another level.
So when we saw them up close and personal under the water, it was amazing.
It was really, like, I'd waited for that moment since I was 9 years old. I fell in love with turtles when I was 8 from reading a story about sea turtles in my 3rd or 4th grade classroom.
Oh, yeah. What book was that?
It wasn't a book.
Oh.
It was like one of those single page reading comprehension sheets that you read. And it was about sea turtles in the Pacific Ocean.
Wow. Well,
And
there
it
you
was,
go.
Yeah, it was talking about them. And I was like, someday I'm going to go swim with sea turtles. Well, people, I got to see a sea turtle. It wasn't like in the wild when Zeke and I were in Honduras 2 years ago. But this was swimming out in the open with wild, beautiful, magnificent sea turtles.
Right. And the colors were crazy on the backs of the sea turtles. It was like this camouflage, like, pattern on the back of their shell. It was crazy. Like a mosaic look to it.
Yeah, no, green sea turtles are a protected species at the state and federal level in Hawaii. And so you can't get close to them. And they tell you, like, keep your distance. Well, what happened was I was watching one under the surface, and then it just slowly started to drift up. And then it, like, drifts right up next to me, like 4, maybe 5 feet away, maybe 6 feet. And I just got to see this beautiful creature just drifting up and just come up for a big gulp of air and then dive back down, and I think I was crying.
And she got it all on tape too.
I did.
It was fantastic. She got a lot of them on tape, and there was actually some scuba divers down there too. It was probably like what 30 or 40 feet deep.
Yeah, and the scuba divers, the thing was, they scared the turtles off. Like, they were all there.
Yeah, they were
from
like
what
doing
everybody
something with
said.
some fish. They were
they were
fish.
like disturbing the area and getting all in their business. And so the turtles all left because, they don't want people right near them.
Right.
And so after the scuba divers got out of the water and the turtles left, then the sea turtles started to come back. Yeah, it was really awesome. And so we had a lot of fun with watching the sea turtles, and then our captain, or Cap, as he liked us to call him, took us out when we were done snorkeling, took us out on a cruise.
Right. He opened the sails up. Now, I've never been on a sailboat. Like, I've been on boats before with motors and things like that, but I've never been on an actual, like, sailboat. Now, if you're on a sailboat, it's so quiet and smooth, but it was very rough, and Christine got a little seasick. I started getting seasick. It was so rough, you could not even walk anywhere on the boat. The boat wasn't very big, but you couldn't walk really without falling over or hanging onto something, and it was bouncing up and down. You were going all over the place.
Yeah, we went out to this area called Diamond Head, and out near there, it's open sea. It's not as protected, and so the trade winds come in, and they blow, and the waves are a bit bigger. And so I had taken Dramamine before we got started and took a couple more doses when we were on it. And then Chris kept looking at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, no.
Oh my goodness.
No,
and I
I'm
started
not.
getting sick too. And she actually I look over and she's like hunched over on like the little chair or whatever. She's sitting down and she was like, "Oh, I just fell asleep." You fell asleep during that? Oh my goodness. I could not, I had to hang on to the railing. I was over the railing, hanging on, trying to take some pictures and some video and stuff. But then oh my goodness. And the wave would hit. We go over this big bump in the water, and you would jump up, back down, jump up, back down. And it was side to side, up and down, a lot of that stuff. So it get kind of crazy, and I was getting, oh my gosh. And plus the heat and the sun.
Yeah.
And it's warm over there.
Yeah, it is. Fortunately, we had swim shirts on. They have SPF 50 built in, so they kept us a little bit cool too, but that was rough. And then after that, they took us back to shore, and we hopped back in the Jeep and went back to the hotel and got ready for birthday day part 2.
Right. We went to my luau. That's actually my luau, but it's my birthday luau.
Well, it is. It's called Chief's Luau. You're the chief, so
That's
it's basically
right.
yours.
They did celebrate my birthday when we were
Yeah.
there, if you remember that correctly. Big luau. We didn't have it at the hotel, though. We actually, Christine actually looked up what's the best luau in the island or the town or something.
Yeah, in the island. Mm-hmm.
And she found this one. The crazy thing is, it was what, 20, 30 miles away?
Yeah, but it took an hour and a half
to get there because of traffic. You think traffic is bad here? You think traffic is bad in LA? Traffic in Honolulu is unbelievable because they have small freeways,
slow speed limits,
and just about as many people as San Diego.
Yeah, they told us that they are the 9th most congested city in terms of traffic in the nation.
Wow, I believe it after being out there. So it took us forever to get out there. It was actually at a water park, was where the actual luau was in. So we get to this water park. I'm like, are we at the right place? Because this is a water park. It's not a luau place.
And I was like, just come with me. And he's like, are you sure? Is this really a thing? I'm like, trust me. I did my research. I went to 7 different sites to find the perfect luau. And how was it, Chris?
It was amazing. And I mean amazing.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fantastic.
Pretty awesome.
They had this whole host and had a lot of fire torture guys and all that, and the luau girls, and they brought people on stage, and they had music playing, and we got to dance up on the stage, and they addressed everybody for their birthday, and it was very interactive. It was great. Shout out to the Chef's Luau.
Chief's Luau.
Chief's Luau, whatever it is.
Chief's Luau. I have to tell you, I loved so much of that night. One of my favorite things about that night was they were celebrating honeymooners and then people that were celebrating their anniversary. They brought out flowers for them, and then they said they were going to play the traditional Hawaiian wedding song. And then they invited any other couples that wanted to come up and dance. And Chris grabbed my hand and he walks me up to the front where all of these other people are. And I think I'm going to cry right now.
Oh.
And as he grabs my hand, and mind you, we've not gone dancing really before. We did like one time in Vegas, but it was like hip hop dancing. So he grabs my hand and he puts his other hand on my waist. And as he does that, these Polynesian male dancers come out with flaming tiki torches and hold them up around us. And it's spectacular under the stars in Hawaii for our first dance while they're playing this traditional Hawaiian love song and serenading us. And I'm serious, I started crying. It was amazing.
It was
It
beautiful.
was one of the most touching moments of my life.
Oh, well, I'm glad
You're
I'm a part of
seriously making
it.
me cry right now.
I'm sorry. And the food was great too. I thought it was like buffet style. You go through, everybody gets their plates, and they had Mai Tais galore for you to drink, all that fun stuff. And the food was fantastic, like buffet style or whatever. But it was great. I loved it.
And then I drove us back from out in the sticks of
Yes.
Honolulu.
Yes,
And it
back-
wasn't even Honolulu. It was a totally different area of town.
Right.
And
part of
I
the
made
island.
it back with us in one piece. And then we were exhausted. And that was the end of day 2. And what did we do day 3?
Day 3, it was all about getting up super early, which was all okay with because I was on San Diego time. So we had to get up super, super early because we had to be downstairs in the lobby by 6 a.m.
5:45.
I'm sorry. Excuse me. 5:45 a.m. we had to be downstairs to catch the shuttle bus, tour bus, to take us to the Pearl Harbor Museum and
Memorial.
Memorial and all that fun stuff. We saw Pearl Harbor. We got taken out to the USS Arizona. We saw that. We got the boat to go out there. And we got on the little platform thing. We look out and see the ship under the water. You can see the oil coming up, like
Yeah.
on the surface. All the oil is leaking out of it. It's still in there. And the crazy thing is that not only is the oil still in there, or whatever it is that in there leaking out, the sailors that died, they're still in there.
Yeah.
Their bodies are still in the Arizona, which is under the water, still to this day.
So it is indescribable when you go on to that memorial and then you walk into the room where they have the names of the sailors who lost their lives. You're standing looking at this marble wall, and as I was standing there, I was just soaking it all in and just very somber and very appreciative of the sacrifice of these individuals who gave so much for us. And as I was leaning there against the cold marble walls, this older gentleman, I don't think I even told this to Chris, this older gentleman had to have been in his 70s, was just a couple feet over from my right, and he just started sobbing, just
Oh,
very
really?
quietly and crying. And his wife came up to him and hugged him, and she found a handkerchief, not even a tissue, a handkerchief that she was holding for him. And he said, I've waited my whole life for this moment. And
Wow.
it was like, I couldn't even talk about it that day because
Right.
I was just in that moment thinking, this man, with his age, where he was in terms of his age, he was probably a child, maybe a very young child when World War II started, because he had to have been probably in his 80s. And may have lost a parent or a family member or aunts or uncles, or maybe he's older than I thought, and maybe he was one of those that served. And it was a very sobering moment. And then we got back on the little boat. You get 15 minutes on the memorial.
Yeah, I thought they gave you more time than that. I
Right,
thought it was
they
like
don't.
it took you over there. When you want to go back, you go back whenever. But no, they had this thing like a clockwork. They had it. You load, you go. You load, you go. Each group had a certain time. Your ticket was stamped for a certain exact time. You miss that time, you miss it. That's
Right.
it.
And this memorial had been closed for 15 months. And when we planned this trip, Chris was like, I really would like to go to Pearl Harbor. I don't really know if we're going to be able to. And I looked it up and I was like, sorry, babe, it's closed. And then right after we booked, they reopened it, and I got online and all the tickets were gone. And
Wow.
I searched high and low for like 2 weeks, and I found one tour company that had one set of morning tours left. And not only did we get to go to Pearl Harbor, but this tour that I bought, it was a package. And so we actually got to go on to the Pearl Harbor military installation onto the base at Ford Island.
Right.
And we got to board the USS Missouri. We got a small group tour of the USS Missouri. We got to go to the surrender deck where World War II officially ended, where Japan surrendered.
Right. This very same spot where they actually signed the paperwork saying we give up, we surrender, all that stuff. We saw exactly where it happened.
We got to stand right on that spot.
Oh, that's crazy. It was very powerful, very moment, being on that whole ship, being there. Wow, being on the whole place, being in Hawaii in general, and being in the whole area with the Pearl Harbor and everything. It was very deep, and it was very emotional, and it was fantastic. It was great.
And one of the things that I had to remind Chris of when we were there was I used to be a history teacher, and I don't talk about that a lot because I'm in administration now, but this is what I taught for years, and I would talk about the conflict and talk about the dynamics and the Pacific Theater is what it's referred to in terms of the battleground for the start of the U.S. entering into World War II. But all of that, I was talking from history books and from film that I'd studied, and I'd never been there. And it gave me such a unique perspective. And we actually sat down on a bench when we were at the Pearl Harbor Visitor Center, and we were looking up footage. Of course, it's more Hollywood style, but from Pearl Harbor, the movie, to try and see what those different components of the conflict were. And then they took us into a theater and they showed us about a 15-minute, maybe 20-minute film that documented it.
Right. It was all actual footage of the actual event and footage before the event and footage during and all that. And of course they cleaned up the footage a little bit for the big screen it was like a theater we were in.
Right. It was really a powerful experience, and that by the time we were done with that day, we were emotionally spent, and it was only 1:30 when we got back to the hotel.
Right. What did we do after that? We went straight, got snorkeling gear, or did we take a nap first? I don't remember.
After that, we decided to go snorkeling. We went back to the room for just a little bit, and I think we got something to eat because we were really hungry.
Right. We didn't
and
much.
Then we were like,
oh no, we ate at the food truck that was actually at the Missouri. They had this food truck parked outside the Missouri. They had pulled pork sandwiches, was it?
Yeah, it was like Missouri style Kansas City barbecue.
Oh, it was fantastic. Cool. It was great. And they had the old pineapple whip there, one of my favorites. They had that. They had all kinds of goodies there. It was great. We ate there, got in the tour bus, and we saw the big cemetery, Punch Bowl Cemetery.
Yep.
We saw that. The guy took us a tour around downtown. We got to see the, was it the headquarter thing where Hawaii Five-0? Have you ever seen the show Hawaii Five-0 on CBS? The actual headquarters, quote unquote, they're supposed to be the headquarters of their unit. It was actually, we saw a tour of that too. It was great.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And then when we got back to the hotel room, Chris was like, hey, I would really like to go snorkeling. And so I was like, okay, well, let's look up and see where we can rent some snorkeling gear. Ends up, there's a place right across the street. So we got on our shoes.
Like a surf shop. It was like a surf shop. So they were like sanding down surfboards or doing something, surfboards.
Yeah, quality surfboards in Oahu. They were amazing staff there. The young men that worked there were so hospitable.
Right.
They were like, yeah, aloha. What can we do for you all? And totally like the Hawaii surfer that you would see, like the long, curly-ish kind of
tan
sea hair, and they're like putting the wax on the boards and we were like, yeah, can we get 2 snorkeling sets? And he's like, yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, totally. And it's super cheap. It was just $10 a day. So we just grabbed our stuff.
We got 2 packs of snorkeling gear, and then we went straight to the beach where we were at. And we went snorkeling right on the beach, right by the front of the hotel. It was fantastic. Right there. You didn't have to go anywhere. We saw all kinds of cool stuff. Fish, coral.
We walked out. We just hopped right in. We could see pretty much our hotel room from where we were. And then after that, we decided to go back to the hotel room, and we got cleaned up because we decided for dinner that night, we wanted to have dinner at the shrimp truck.
Yes, it was one of those food trucks. I guess food trucks is a big thing on the island. There are a lot of food trucks everywhere. It's a big thing. And the prices, compared to the hotel restaurant we were at, is like a quarter of the price, But it was fantastic. We had the shrimp, and it was so fantastic. It was coconut shrimp with
so
French
good.
fries, and they had pasta too with it or something.
It had a coleslaw or something like that, and the coconut shrimp came with this sweet chili dipping sauce. And I actually surprised Chris tonight. He decided we wanted to recreate an island experience. And so we made a little taste of the islands tonight, and 2 of our boys were here. And so we were able to make this wonderful dinner. And I got coconut shrimp from Trader Joe's, and they had the sweet chili sauce, the sweet chili dipping sauce. And it was seriously like being back at the shrimp truck. It was so good.
Yes.
The coconut shrimp, it was good from Trader Joe's. It was nowhere near like it was in Hawaii.
Oh, yeah. It was amazing in Hawaii. Man, that food truck, man. You think food trucks, I always thought they're called roach coaches, They had
No, not there.
No.
The shrimp trucks are pretty popular and pretty famous in Hawaii.
Right. And they also do the shaved ice, too. We had that, too.
Yeah.
Was shaved ice what it's called?
Yeah, it was shaved ice. And that night, because it was, again, out by this little rock jetty area, Chris set up the GoPro on my tripod, and he did this. Was it the time warp or time lapse?
I don't remember. Maybe time lapse.
It was a time lapse video where it takes a picture every 2 or 5 or 10 seconds, however you set it. And so he got the sunset from when the sun was still up in the air until it settled over the horizon and disappeared. And you can see sailboats going by and surfers coming in and out. And we sat there eating our shrimp and our French fries and our coleslaw, dipping it in our sweet chili sauce. And Chris had a Hawaiian Sun drink, and I had a Sprite, and we were just totally casual. And it was yet another beautiful Hawaiian sunset, and that was day 3.
That was amazing. That was my favorite.
Yeah, that was so much fun. And then day 4, people, was
a busy day.
It was a busy day, and it was full of so many memories, and I cried a couple times that day, all happy tears. But
it was our our last day on the island. So to me, it's like our last time here, go big or go home. So I had that keys to the Jeep. We didn't really use it much. So I'm like, we got to use that thing. Yeah.
And so Chris, like he said, he woke up early every day of the trip. So he woke up early. I was still asleep. And he's like, hey, babe, I know what we're going to do today. Are you ready? I was like, okay. He's like, I know you wanted to see waterfalls. I'm like, yeah, I did. It was actually on my list of the very few things I wanted to do for me. And he's like, well, I did the research. I found this place. It's only 5 miles from here.
5 miles away from the hotel.
Yeah. And he's like, let's go. So we got ready, and I don't even think, we didn't even eat anything. We had a cup of coffee in the hotel room.
Right. We had nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. Ate nothing, coffee, and that was it. Get in the Jeep, take the top down.
We packed our backpack with
right.
the swim stuff we needed just in case we decided to go swimming somewhere during that day.
And snorkel gear, too. We brought our stuff with us, backpacks. I brought my hiking shoes, and Christine did not.
I brought my tennies.
Right. But she did bring shoes, though, after all. I mean, most of the time we're in flip-flops. But we found this place. It is called
Manoa Falls.
Manoa Falls Park. And it's like you drive through this neighborhood, and you drive through a bunch of houses, residential houses and stuff, and then you end up at the end of the road. You end up at this parking lot / everything looks like so lush. Jungle. I'm talking jungle everywhere. And you pull up this place, trees, canopies are everywhere. And I think I heard monkeys or something flying around.
There were amazing birds flying overhead. And they have those kind of trees that have the vines hanging off of them that you can literally swing off of.
Right. They actually hold your weight, too, because I tested it.
And
I swung on them. And we parked the Jeep, whatever. And then we hiked to the Manoa Falls. They say just to hike up this road here is the Manoa Falls. Okay, great. Now, how many miles did they say it was?
0.8.
0.8. It doesn't sound too bad.
It doesn't sound too bad. However, round trip, we ended up going 2.8 miles.
Right, and it gets narrow towards the closer you get to the waterfall. It's like
and,
a lot
and
of
wet and muddy, slippery.
Yeah, it's like we're in a rainforest. It started raining on us. We're in a rainforest. It's muddy. Some of the paths are like jagged rocks that are kind of narrow. You got to climb through and watch your footing. A lot of watching your footing type stuff. Hiking shoes recommended.
Right.
But once you get to the waterfall, it is, how would you describe it, Christine?
Spectacular.
Spectacular.
Breathtaking.
Yes. You see this big waterfall. Everybody's there taking pictures, of course, selfies, photos, and believe me, you bet your butt I did too.
Yeah, and then it started raining because we were in a rainforest.
Right, who would have thought?
Right.
We're in a rainforest, it starts raining on us. And it was funny, my mom, because she's watching my kids for the trip, she starts to FaceTime me while I'm at the waterfall. Like, she FaceTimes me at the waterfall. I get the kids, talking to the kids. Look, kids, we're in the rainforest. It's
it was
raining.
really cool. And then the water picked up just a little bit, and they have these signs everywhere, beware flash floods. Well, it didn't rain heavy enough for us to have to worry about that, but it did rain enough to make things very slippery. And I lost my footing, and I almost fell, but thank you for my knight in shining armor. He got me before I bit the dust.
I was quick like that. Like
Yeah,
Batman.
he was.
Boom, gotcha.
Boom.
Gotcha. So
Boom
you
goes
fell.
the dynamite.
She didn't fall. I saw another guy almost fall. And
then there's this other guy that walks past us, and he's like, I haven't fallen yet. But yet he's walking away from us, and his whole backside is covered in mud. And we were like, dude, you totally fell.
Right. And other guys are picking up walking sticks and bringing walking sticks. And people had babies with, not strollers, but they're carrying
Like
them.
strapped on babies.
Right.
Yeah.
Seeing the waterfall, and it was fantastic. When we drove back, we're starving. We didn't eat nothing. We just hiked like 2 miles on like no food at all.
Almost 3, yeah.
Oh, 3, whatever it was. And we were starving. So we got to find a place to eat around here. And she's like, I know this place.
My friend Karen had recommended it. We were going to actually have a get together there. It just, things didn't work out, but
we drove right by it.
Right by there, like not even a mile
block, maybe?
from the entrance to Manoa Falls, and it's called Waioli Tea Room or Waioli Kitchen and Bakery.
Right.
And oh my Lanta, I had banana macnut pancakes with coconut maple syrup.
It was amazing. And it was all open, patio seating, everything's open, like all the windows and everything are just all open. And then to see this view of this valley and this green lush everywhere and trees everywhere and flowers everywhere. It was spectacular.
Yeah, Chris had lunch. He had a burger. I had pancakes, and then he had some of mine. And it was just fun like that. And then we left there, and he's like, babe, I want to go up, and I want to go see this place. Let's go. And
Right.
he's like, can you do the directions? I was like, sure, no problem. And so we hopped in the Jeep, and we took off for
Top down,
our
by
next
the way.
adventure.
We had top down all day long, by the way.
Yeah, we did.
Top was down. We went to see where they actually filmed the TV show Lost. The beach, they filmed the show Lost, the popular show, early 2000s, mid 2000s.
It was the survivor scene, right? Where the plane crash was?
That beach, Christine hasn't seen the show, but I'm going to get her hooked on it, by the way. I got all the DVDs at home. I got hooked on it back when it came out. But the actual beach where if you've seen the show, it's the main beach that they were on. It was actually filmed there. Obviously, it's filmed in Hawaii. And it's right there. We actually was on the scene where they actually filmed the show. It was quite incredible. And while we were there looking at walking around the beach, Christine happened to see the water.
Yeah, I look out at the water, and I'm like, what are those little things that keep popping up out of the water? And I looked, and I was dumbfounded. There were sea turtles everywhere, like 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet from the edge of the sand where we were standing, like in the shallow, shallow water. There was coral reefs all right there, and they were just flip-flopping around, coming up for air, playing, floating around in the little waves.
Right.
And big ones, little ones, and then this seal or sea otter, I think it was a seal. They'd mentioned monk seals.
Okay.
Just starts like swimming by the shoreline, and I just stood there in complete awe because, like Chris mentioned, this has been a dream of mine since I was a little girl. And to just walk on this beach randomly, following my love to this place that he wanted to see that was a big deal to him.
Oh, of course.
And just by going there with him, I end up fulfilling yet another one of my dreams.
Right, seeing sea turtles. And they didn't come onto the sand, but they were in the water. And you can totally see them. They're right there in front of you, like right there. It was great. It was fantastic. So after that, we got back in the car. And we're like in the country. We're on the other side of the island now. So we're in like the country, like in the sticks. And there's some traffic out there too. So we're driving around to see this other beach.
Because we were driving to the other beach that was supposed to be the famous turtle beach called Laniakea. We were at this other one called Mokulea. And so we wanted to go to Laniakea because that's where it's really famous for the turtle rescue. It's where the turtles come. They don't lay their eggs there, but they do come out of the water. And I said, Chris, we're only like 6 miles away. Can we please go there? And he's like, yeah, let's go. So then we went, and what happened on the way?
We didn't see any turtles. I know that.
Well, what happened before we got there?
Oh, talking about the pineapple stand?
We got stuck in traffic.
Okay, we got stuck in traffic. So
a lot of traffic.
Yeah, so while we're in traffic, we're driving in traffic and see a sign that says pineapple coconuts or something up ahead. I'm like, what's that? And we're sitting in traffic, and I look over, and there's a guy with a cart and pulling by a trailer, a little cart setup thing.
And I said, hey, it says smoothies, Chris.
Oh, my love language. On a hot day in Hawaii, fresh smoothies. Are you kidding me? How are you going to pass that up?
Right.
So we went there, and the guy had like pineapples, coconuts, whatever, and he actually cut open fresh pineapples and cored them out, made them hollow, made actually like cups out of them, cups out of the fresh pineapple.
Yeah.
And then you make whatever smoothie you want. I had a pineapple one, obviously.
And I had a mixed fruit one.
And they were amazing. They were so good.
And you get a metal straw and...
Oh, by the way, I got to tell you this. Straws, hope no one from California and the government's office is listening, but in Hawaii, they outlawed straws are banned completely.
Yeah, plastic straws are banned. And so you have to do the paper ones or the metal ones. And so he sold us metal straws, and they were like hologram looking. They were pretty cool.
Right.
But Chris and I sat there and sipped our smoothies, and then he drank his. And so we got back on the road while I was sipping mine, and we go down the road, and there's all this traffic. Well, I was thinking back as we were sitting there, that was the day that the first big swell had come in. And so it was really kicking off the big surf season.
Right.
And so there was all these people that were going to the Bonsai Pipeline, which was only a couple more miles down the road. We did not end up going to see that, but we went to Laniakea to see the turtles. There were 2. Chris didn't see them. I did. That's what matters. Let's be real.
Okay.
And a bunch of lava rocks all around the side.
The turtle lover.
Turtle lover. And then after that, I was happy as a clam, and we got back in the car, and we decided to head back to town, and we went back to the hotel, and after that, we went back and we snorkeled for a little bit.
We're back, did some snorkeling. I said, we got to get some snorkeling in before the last day. We got the snorkeling gear. We have it for one more day. Let's use it. We got a little bit of daylight left. Let's just get out there real quick. We went down there, got dressed, went down there. Hopped in the water, and we went and did some more snorkeling. It was fantastic.
And then after that, we went back to the room. We kept our pineapples in the fridge. We washed them out. We put them in the fridge to store them. And Chris had some Hawaiian drinks that he kept in the fridge. And I said, I'd go take the snorkeling gear back. And he's like, okay, I'll have some fresh drinks ready for us when you come back. So he had this Hawaiian Sun Punch and a little bit of coconut rum that he put in together with ice. And we had our pineapples and our straws. We got ready. I made reservations at a Japanese teppanyaki restaurant just downstairs. So we drank our drinks and then tossed our pineapples, kept our metal straws.
Right.
And then what Chris didn't know is that I told the people when I made the teppanyaki reservations that it was his birthday. And so we sat down at this table at dinner, and it ends up that the couple next to us on our left-hand side was from Atlanta, and it was the husband's birthday.
Right.
And then on the other side of Chris was a single man that sat with us, an older gentleman. His name is Joe, and it was his birthday the week before. And then the next couple at the table was a couple, their names were Cole and Eddie, the gal Cole.
How do you remember all these names?
I'm really good with names.
Okay.
And so Cole, it was her birthday coming up the next week. So D'Artagnan and Michelle were celebrating D'Artagnan's birthday. And then Joe was a single older guy that was there by himself. He lives in Alaska. he comes to Hawaii for a couple of weeks, and then he goes to Palm Springs to winter there so he doesn't have to stay in Alaska. Well, he arrived to Hawaii a couple days before his birthday, and he didn't celebrate with anybody. So we just told Lynette, our amazing server, that it was everybody's birthday, and we had one big birthday party.
Oh, yeah.
And they sang to everybody. And they come around and they do these the pictures of couples at the teppanyaki restaurant, and they did them of all three of the couples. And then the guy turns to Joe, and he's like, "Would you like a photo?" And I said, we're taking a group photo for Joe's birthday because we're his best friends. And so we did.
Right.
And it was so fun. And out of all of us, 3 out of the 4, well, Joe bought a group picture. We bought one of the group pictures, and Cole and Eddie brought a group picture. And Joe said, and it made me also want to cry. He's like, if anybody asks me what I did for my birthday, I'm going to tell them I had dinner with my 6 new best friends.
Oh.
I know. It was
Fantastic.
so sweet. 'Cause that's, it just goes to show you, people, you never know who's sitting at the table with you. Sometimes, who knows? Maybe he was lonely. Maybe he wasn't. Maybe he likes to be alone like Chris does.
Yeah.
But maybe he really did want some company, and he had a really fun time, and we all sang happy birthday to him, and he had ice cream, and he blew out a candle.
I know.
And it was like one of the highlights of the trip for me too.
And that was our last official day.
Yeah, it was.
Day 2 came to a close, and that was our trip came to a close. The very next day was pretty much chill and just pack and get ready to go to the airport.
Yeah, and then we flew home, and we got home super late, and Chris is a gem, and he did all the laundry because he knew that I had a really busy week and was going to be running and going home and doing all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. And then he's like, I'll take care of the laundry. You take care of getting work stuff done. I don't go back to work till tomorrow. And so now here we are, just recovering from our amazing trip, and just so grateful that we've had the opportunity to do this. It's a dream that we both had, and it was just so fun.
That's amazing. And when we come back, we got one more thing for you. The Chris and Christine Show is available everywhere on Google Play with Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and iHeartRadio.
All right, folks, and now it's time for Would You Rather. Chris, are you ready for this?
Ooh, this is a total surprise because I have no idea what this is about. What
All
you
right,
got? What
Chris.
you got today, baby?
In the spirit of vacation,
Okay.
would you rather be stuck alone forever on a deserted island, or be snorkeling and suddenly have a great white shark swim up next to you?
Why would I want a great white shark next to me?
Would you rather be alone on a deserted island forever,
Oh, yeah.
or have a great white shark swim up next to you?
So both of them kind of playing your fears a little bit. But honestly, now the great white shark thing. Now, does this great white shark eat me?
I didn't say that it did.
Oh.
I just said it swam up next to you.
Well, that'd be kind of an experience. I think, oh gosh, it's tough. But he doesn't eat me at all? He doesn't bite me or nothing?
You can make it up yourself.
Okay, he swims away, right? And eats somebody else?
Or eats nobody. And you just have an encounter.
I think the great white shark, because that's something awesome you can share with everybody. Deserted island forever? You don't have to get off the island? You just die there?
Ever. Yep. Alone.
Yeah, it sounds cool at first. Like the first day on the island, you're like, yeah, it's freedom. You're like walking around naked. You're like, yeah, check me out. What's up? You start talking to coconuts, and you start talking to volleyballs like in the movie, and then you start like redecorating things, and you start like having little like. I mean, it's like the scene from Home Alone when he starts playing with everything, gets to go nuts and run around the house. That'd be me on the island. But like I said, the first day, by day 3, you're like, oh gosh. Now I'm bored.
Right.
So I think the shark thing, maybe it's kind of cool to see a shark up close. As long as you know it's not going to eat you. Now that's part of the equation, then I'll probably take the shark. End of story. What do you got?
I think that I would do the shark regardless, because it's like that whole slow, painful, agonizing death versus sudden death. And it's like, if the shark was going to swim up next to me, it's either going to swim away or I'm dead. Versus I'm stuck on the island forever, going crazy, wondering if somebody's going to rescue me. Are they worried about me? not having anybody to talk to.
Hey, your phone doesn't work, no Instagram,
Nothing,
no email.
nothing.
What are you
nothing.
going to do? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Wi-Fi's
I mean,
down?
I would survive, but it's like I worry about you if you were stuck on a deserted island. I know that you would like be in misery without me.
Yes, I was going to say that. I was going to say that. Yes, I was going to say that was on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, it is.
It wasn't about me going stir crazy. It's all about missing you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this has been an amazing podcast, episode 10. I know it's gone a little long today because we had so much to talk about, so much stuff to tell you guys about the trip and all that fun stuff. And it was amazing. It was fantastic. I cannot wait to go back.
Yeah, and so Chris is going to close us out with just some info about some new fun things and ways you can get involved with the K2 show. But I just want to say before he closes us out, hang 10, can't wait to do this again.
Fantastic. Now, the Chris and Christine show, we are now available on Patreon. If you want to help support the Chris and Christine show, you can do that. You can find us at patreon.com/the Chris and Christine show, spelled exactly like you see it. Now, if you are a subscriber and a Patreon of us, we will give you the opportunity to be on the Chris and Christine show. You can phone in and do a voice message, and we will play it back on the air for you guys. A shout out, whatever you want to be, for being a Patreon for us. We say thank you, and then all the funds help fund the fun. Goes directly into the podcast. 100% of it goes straight into the podcast. Equipment, etc. All this stuff that takes into this,
Awesome. And next week, tune in as we have our guests that are going to be joining us, the Armentas, who are the authors of the new book, The Right Combination, which is now available on Amazon.com and Barnes & Noble. It's a fantastic read, especially if you are somebody that's interested in learning about finding success in dating after divorce, finding hope after loss. The Armentas are going to be joining us. Take a chance, read it, The Right Combination. It's a great book. You won't be sorry. And turning it over to Chris.
Aloha and mahalo, and I'll see you guys next week.
Remember this week that life is too short to wake up in the morning with regret.
So love the people who treat you right, forget about the ones who don't, and believe that everything happens for a reason.
If you get a chance, take it. If it changes your life, let it. Nobody said that it would be easy.
They just promised it would be worth it. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Chris.
And I'm Christine, and until next week,
Keep moving forward.